Hey everyone, and welcome to today's video. I haven't done a declutter video in a hot minute, so let's get into decluttering some foundations. As you can see, I have way too many foundations in my collection currently. I think it's partly because I've been trying to find an alternative foundation for my CC Plus, just to have something else, just to mix things up. And I honestly have not found an equally good foundation no matter what. So I've accumulated a bunch of foundations. And also I've received some of these in PR, but that obviously has no effect on my opinion about them. I'm not required to post anything on YouTube. This is just for my own fun that I post here. I do Instagram reels and stories that are sponsored, but nothing that I have ever posted on YouTube has been sponsored. And I honestly see several foundations here that are truly gone bad. They look weird or feel weird, so we're going to get rid of those. But if there is something that's still usable, I'm obviously going to give that a family member or friend. So no worries, nothing usable will be thrown away. Only the ones truly, not usable are going to be gone from my collection. That being said, let's get into decluttering. First of all, we are going to have to declutter my favorite foundation ever, and let me move some of these away. We'll get back to those later. But this is Your Skin But Better CC Plus Illumination Color Correcting Illuminating Full Coverage Cream. A lot of words. It's in the shade Light, and it really is my perfect foundation. Unfortunately, it expired a couple of months ago, and I'm not going to be too particular with expiry dates in general. I usually use foundations for a little bit longer, but this does not feel the same, so it has to go. But I think I can get like a swatch out of it, so you'll see the color. I think this shade Light is just my perfect shade match, especially during the summer. I love how creamy this is. This is perfect for anyone with drier skin. I think a lot of people with mature skin really like this foundation, and I will be repurchasing this eventually. I'm going to try to use some of the other foundations first, but this is just my favorite. It has been that for years, and I usually always have it in my collection. I do still have a travel-sized CC Plus cream, but it's not the illumination version somewhere. It's probably in my travel bag, but I am keeping that since it has not expired. Now, a second thing that I see that I think has expired too is the Age Perfect Radiant Foundation Sunscreen from L'Oreal. This is SPF 50. I have it in the shade Rose Ivory. And let's see if I can get any swatches out of it. I did. I think it's a pretty good shade match for me as well. Maybe slightly bit lighter than the CC Plus. I do like this. However, I have really dry skin. I tend to prefer creamier foundations. But if you like this lightweight, more liquidy foundation, this is really good. And I like this kind of radiant but not glittery look that it gives me. I think for the summer, this works great for me, but for the winter, I need something more hydrating. But it is a good one, and if it hadn't expired, I would have kept it. Speaking of expired, these three from Lancome, and these were sent to me, which is why I have so much of them, but they've separated. There's some sort of green stuff on this Taint It All Ultra Wear. This one was in the shade 215C, and this one is in the shade 220C. I've used them both, maybe a little bit more of the 215C, but I do like both these. I'm not going to swatch them since they have turned green. I don't think that's a good sign at all, so I'm going to let go of them. But this is a really good foundation. I think it can be a little bit drying on my skin, so that's why I probably didn't get as much use out of it, but it is really nice foundation. And if you love Lancome products, you probably won't be disappointed with this one. They also sent me a Taint It All Ultra Wear Care and Glow one. that is actually more up my alley. As you can see, I've used more of it. This is more hydrating, so better for drier skin, but also I don't think it's too much so that normal skin can use it. It's just a slightly glowier version of their Tinted Ultra Wear, but I wouldn't say that it's like glass skin and glowy or anything. It's more natural glow, and unfortunately it has also separated, so it has to go. But I did really enjoy this one even better than the regular one, since it is more hydrating. And again, if it hadn't expired, I would have kept it. Things that I've owned quite a while and probably also have to go are these Almay Ageless Smart Shade Foundation Skin Tone Matching Technology. These were also sent to me. I have it in 050 Fair and 100 in Light. So here's what it looks like. It comes out as white, and ignore my really horrible nails. Then when you kind of rub it in, it changes into your skin tone match. Now I would obviously have to rub it in a little bit better, but you get the idea. I'm guessing it breaks down into your skin. It is really nice, but I will say, like, since I have to use so many products on my dry skin, these don't play well with everything. So these are better suitable for days when I don't have to put like a thicker, since they too tend to pale up if I have a ton of product underneath. And for me, with my dry skin, that's not really a possibility for me to not use a good moisturizer. But for the summertime, these are fine because these are very hydrating with hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, and electrolytes. So if you're one of those people that doesn't need a thicker moisturizer, you might like these year round. They are very hydrating, but not greasy, not oily, just, you know, a great foundations. But for me, I think I've owned them too long. I don't think they're doing that great, and when I swatched it, I noticed that it wasn't, you know, blending like it used to, so I'm gonna let go of them. But these are great options from the drugstore, especially if you're one of those people that doesn't want to put too many products. So you will need an SPF with this, but just SPF and then layer this on top of it might be a really great, easy look for you. I see one other foundation that I think it's time for it to go. This is from Catrice, and this is their True Skin Hydrating Foundation. I have it in the neutral porcelain, and it has like very much separated, and I think this is quite old. It has survived like at least one of my declutters. I did use it quite a bit after that, but I still don't love it, so I'm gonna let go of it. The problem with this is it says it's hydrating, but I don't think so. It's a really good foundation, but it really isn't hydrating enough for me. But from the drugstore, this is definitely one of the better foundations. I love Catrice in general. I think they make excellent products, and this is no exception. It just isn't for me with my super dry skin, but you might really like it, and it's quite affordable. You can get it from Amazon, so I do recommend it for those of you with normal to oily skin. For a drier skin gals like me, just make sure to, you know, it might be something that you can look into depending on how dry your skin is, but just know that hydrating, you know, is relative. It's not hydrated enough for me, but it could be for your skin. So everything we've gone through so far, I've decluttered, which is great. But I see one more thing that I'm going to declutter, and it's this one from Rimmel. And I gotta say, like, I'm not quite sure why I purchased this at one point, because it really isn't meant for my skin type at all. This is their Stay Matte Lightweight Mousse Foundation, and I have it in the shade 200 Soft Beige. I'm gonna see if a friend would like this, because it is actually a really good foundation. It's just not for my skin type, which is puzzling to me why I got it in the first place. But you know, maybe I just wanted to test it out. But this is what it looks like. It looks quite solid, but it is very soft, and you only need a little bit. I have way too much of it right here. I think this shade is too dark for me too, now that I look at it, but it blends really easily with, you know, fingers, and the coverage is pretty good, I would say. But it is, again, a matte foundation, which I don't really need or want, so I'm gonna see if a friend would like this. But if you do like matte foundations from the drugstore, this is really nice great coverage. All right, let's see what we have in here next. I am going to declutter my Kosas foundations. These are still usable, so someone else will get them. This is their Revealer Skin Improving Foundation, Broad Spectrum SPF 25. And there's nothing wrong with these foundations either. I think they're great. I think the coverage is really good. And let me swatch one of these for you. They have a pump, and I do think the shade match is pretty good. This one is in Light Cool 150, and I also have Very Light Cool 120. And I actually got a neutral foundation color that I ordered from them, but they ran out of it and sent me both of these, so I got two for the price of one, which was, you know, nice. But this is just too heavy for me, and also it's quite fragranced. It looks really dry and cakey on my skin. I think it's just my skin type that's the problem. I think these are great for other skin types, but yeah, I didn't use them enough for me to keep them, just for the fact that they are so heavy looking, so drying on my skin, and I don't like the look of my skin when it looks like it's peeling. This really added that dryness factor. So yeah, it's probably great for other skin types, but not my dry skin. So I'm gonna see if a friend would like both of these. All right, we're looking great. We've gotten, you know, rid of a bunch of these foundations. I see one more that we are going to get rid of, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. And let's get into the things that I am going to keep for a change. So this is from Revlon, and this is their Illuminant Skin Caring Foundation with 5% squalene and hyaluronic acid. I have it in the shade 117. And that is called a light beige, and I actually really like this one. So here's what it looks like. This light beige is kind of light, so definitely not the typical beige, if you will, but I love it. I think this is a really good foundation from the drugstore. I'm definitely going to keep it. It doesn't have SPF, which I think is a good thing for me, but if you're looking for that one and done with SPF, you know, this doesn't have it. But I think in general you should always add SPF, you know, in addition to your foundation. But I like how smoothing this is. It does feel very lightweight. It adds a little bit of hydration too. So all in all, a great foundation from the drugstore that I can see working for multiple skin types, since it is light yet has that coverage. I would say light to medium coverage, maybe even medium. I haven't built it up, but you possibly could, but I highly recommend this one. I really like it. I've seen it less and less though, so it makes me wonder if they're discontinuing it, but if they haven't, definitely grab this one. I am also going to keep my About Face foundation. This is their The Performer Skin Focused Foundation, and I have it in the shade 1L Neutral. It does have a doe foot applicator, which isn't, you know, for everyone, but that's what it looks like. I do really like this one. I will say this is slightly trickier of a foundation for me. I need to make sure I pair it up with the right products. It isn't always something that plays well with a thicker moisturizer, but it does have a little bit of a lighter coverage to begin with, so more of a summer foundation. But I do really like how lightweight it is, and it never looks patchy or anything like that, so I'm gonna hold on to it. From Estee Lauder, I have their Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup Foundation in the shade 1 and 2. This is called Ecru, and this is my shade match. This was sent to me as well. This is, you know, a legendary foundation. I'm definitely keeping it. I will say though, it is a little bit drying on me, so I have to kind of make sure I prep my skin really well for it. And I also, you know, don't really like the kind of glass bottle that you dip into, but hey, those are little things and not necessarily a problem for everyone. But I love the coverage on this. It is amazing. I do think this shade Ecru is perfect for me. It can look a little heavy on me, so I have to be light-handed with it, but that's just because the coverage is amazing. It does truly stay in place. It doesn't smudge or doesn't, you know, rub off or anything like that. So if you're looking for that foundation that stays on, this is it. I ran out of battery, and that reminded me that I had one more foundation from KVD Beauty, and this is their Good Apple Skin Perfecting Foundation Balm. I have it in the shade Light 004. It wasn't with my other foundations, which is why I forgot it, but here it is. And this used to be like all the rage at once upon a time. This shade is pretty light for me, this Light 004. But I have honestly been using this more like a concealer, which is what it's perfect for. It's so balmy, it's so hydrating, it's not drying, it doesn't look weird or cakey like that. I do think it's a little bit heavy if you use it all over, but for that purpose, I do really like it. I don't think the shade Light is really light. It looks more like a fair shade, and I feel like the layer above this foundation that's there often confuses me on how what the shade is like, because it looks deeper in the pen than it does when I swatch it. But I'm keeping it. I love the coverage. It's perfect for covering those imperfections, especially during the winter. And now that I think of it, I also want to mention I didn't include any powder foundations or foundation sticks, which I have none into today's declutter. So this is just cream and a liquid and cushion foundations that I have for you today. Next thing I'm definitely going to keep is because it's the newest foundation I have from Danessa Myricks, their Yummy Skin Foundation, and I have this in the shade 3.5, which to me, at first I thought that's gotta be too deep. This is the foundation that I decluttered 2 of these in my previous declutter because they were too deep for me. Those were sent to me. This one I purchased myself because I did really like this formula. It is so lightweight. I think it's perfect for the summer, and I think like the shade range is a little off because I feel like 3.5 should have been, you know, maybe a little bit deeper, but it's actually pretty light for me. But I will probably use this more during the winter just because it is pretty light, but also it's very light in general. It's like lightweight foundation, or I guess it's called serum skin tint. So not really a foundation, but a skin tint. It has a nice amount of coverage. It's not by any means medium. I think it's more like a light coverage, but that's what skin tints are. I do like it. I wish it had SPF. That way I could, you know, not do such a thick layer of SPF and have this pill on it if this had part of the SPF. But you know what? I can't have everything, can I? I do like it. I'm gonna keep it. I'm not disappointed that I purchased it. It's super lightweight. I think it'll cater to a lot of different skin types. So if you're looking for a lightweight with a light, maybe, you know, light medium coverage, you'll really like this one. I feel like it's really high quality. Speaking of skin tints, I have another one in here. This is from L'Oreal, their Lumi Le Glow Tint in 120 Neutral. And this is kind of a polarizing product. First of all, gotta shake it before you use it. It's not really a foundation at all. It definitely is more of a glowy tint. It's got mixed reviews because it is really tricky, and I honestly can't use this all over my skin. It looks weird like that, but I've used it as a mix into some foundations to make them lighter weight and maybe a little bit lighter to if it's too deep foundation. And for that purpose, I think this is amazing. I don't know what happens when I use it on its own. It just looks odd on my face, like not even necessarily glowy at all, just odd. Accentuates things that I don't want to be, you know, accentuated kind of thing. But as a mixer, I do like it, and that's why I'm keeping it. Before we get to this cushion foundation pile, I have 2 more foundations here. First one is from Urban Decay. This is their Face Bond Waterproof Foundation with 3% niacinamide, and I have it in the shade 5. And that is Fair Neutral, and this is what it looks like. It's not too old, and it was sent to me, and here's what it looks like. It's not liquidy per se, but it's not heavy as well. It is, you know, in the middle of it, and this shade looks pretty good for my summer skin. It's maybe a tad deep, but you know, it'll work out, and like a slightly yellow undertone, I would say. but I do like it. I like the coverage this gives. I think the coverage is amazing. The only thing with it, it's a little bit drying, just like a lot of foundations for me, and that's a me problem. I realize it's not necessarily a you problem if that's not your skin type, but just so be aware of that. But I do like the coverage. I think that's amazing. I really like this kind of squeezy dispenser that they have going on. I can see this being really travel friendly as well. So if you're looking for a nice long lasting kind of fuller coverage foundation, Face Bond might be that for you. The rest of the foundations, I believe, are all K-Beauty, but let's start with the non-cushion foundation that I have in here. It's from Purito, and it's their Cica Clearing BB Cream SPF 38. And I honestly can't remember if this has gone bad now. It isn't. It's still perfectly fine. So I am going to keep this. Let me swatch this for you. So the way with K-Beauty foundation is that a lot of them have like really difficult shade ranges for some of us. 21 light beige is typically my shade, but I can also do 23, but this one looks pretty deep for 21, which I thought was interesting because this looks more like a 23 for me. So here's what it looks like. It's very grayish, but once I blend it in, I think it looks pretty good, and I think I really like this, especially during the winter. The coverage is really nice, and it doesn't look, you know, too heavy, too cakey. It does have that slight added SPF, which I do like, so I'm definitely going to hold on to it. It is one of those good Korean BB creams. Some of them have fragrance that has irritated my skin, but this does not. So that's another plus for it. I'm definitely holding on to it. It has a really nice coverage, nice hydrating feel, and it stays on really well. Now I have high love cushion foundations here. First up, I have from Hamish, and this one I've used quite a bit. This is their, and I can't find the name for it because it's just in Korean, but this is their cushion foundation. I want to say that it's a glowy one, and it has the puff, which I've used, and the actual product is here. It has now expired, so I'm gonna have to let go of it, but it does have a nice glowy coverage that I like, and this shade that it is, and let me double check what it is again, 23, which is typically my shade in K-Beauty, is really nice. Now I'm not going to throw away the entire thing. I'm just going to take this part away because this is a refillable one. So if I purchase it at some point, I can just refill this container. But I will say this particular one was sent to me. Actually, all of these cushion foundations were sent to me, but that again has no bearing on my opinion about them. But I could see myself purchasing this one with my own money because it really is a nice one, and I used it quite a bit because of that. It just feels like airlight on the skin. Great for traveling. I love the compacts that come with mirror. So I have two different brands here. Let's take Jeongseum Mall next. So all of these are actually from Jeongseum Mall. They sent me like a huge range of their custom foundations. If you're curious, it came with this really big box, and I have given some of them to my friends already, perfect for them, and then on another occasion they sent me this one. But let's start with this foundation. So these are all the same. They're Essential Skin Nuder Cushion Foundations, medium broad spectrum sunscreen with SPF 30, and I have used two different shades of here, and let me just check. Medium, that honestly I would have thought is not my shade, but it turns out that this is, you know, really nice for me, and I'll swatch it there. So this is the medium one, and it's my summer shade, and I am absolutely holding on to the medium shade. Then the next shade that I can absolutely see I've used is the one in Neutral Light. So this is a Neutral Light, and here, let me swatch it next to the medium. You can see the difference. I think I'm somewhere between these two, Neutral Light and medium. So I'm keeping these both. I really like the coverage, and it doesn't feel drying on the skin at all. That's why I've been using both of these a lot. It's kind of an easy way to add foundation. You just tap it on. It looks great. Love it. Now the next shade I have here is medium deep. I haven't opened this, so I'm going to pass this on to someone that could use it, because I'm definitely not going to be medium deep if that's medium. Then I have one in light. One I have tried, so let's swatch it next to that other light shade. Actually, that looks pretty good. It might be even better shade match for me than the neutral light, so I'm gonna hold on to that one as well. Then the next I have is fair, which is going to be too fair for me, so I haven't used it, I believe. Let me check. Nope, haven't used it, so I'm going to give it to someone who has more of a fair complexion. And the last one is called Pink Light, which I believe I've swatched, so let me swatch it here. And here is Pink Light. You know, it's a little bit pinker of an undertone, not a whole lot of difference between light, neutral light and pink light, maybe a slightly bit pinky undertone, but that's about it. I'm gonna think about this. Should I hold on to this as well? It's a little bit later in the day. I don't know what's going on with my batteries, but they both died and I had to charge them. But here I'm back with Jungsemul, and this is the second type of cushion foundation I have from them. This is their Masterclass Radiant Cushion SPF 50, and I have it in the shade Into Vanilla. And the packaging looks like this for the Radiant Cushion, which is actually my favorite. Out of the two, I just prefer this type of formula. But here's the shade Vanilla N2, and that is a pretty good shade match for me, especially during the winter. I love both of these Jungsemul's cushion foundations. I think when I want to go a little bit glowier, which is typically during the winter when my skin is drier, I gravitate towards this one, and then the regular one more during the spring, fall, and summer. But both are great, holding on to both. And this Masterclass Radiant Cushion came with a refill too, so I'll be able to use both of these. But both excellent cushions, definitely worth checking out if you're interested in cushion foundation. And the last two I have are from Vin, and these are their SPF 50 Essence Radiance Cushions. And I believe I've tried one of these, so let me see which one it is. Perhaps I've tried both of them. It looks like I may have not tried this one. It's in the shade 23 Natural Beige, which typically is my color, but I believe I tried this one is in the 21 Light Beige. I know, it looks like I've tried both of them. Here is the Light Beige, a little bit lighter than my skin tone. There we go, a little bit better. Here is the 23, which is a warmer shade. You know, I think I'm going to let go of both of these. I did like the formula, but I'm not going to be able to use all of these. So I think I'm going to see if someone else would prefer this one. I think I like the 23 a little bit better. Maybe I'll hold on to that. No, I think I'm going to let go of them. It's like a never-ending conversation with myself. But I did like them, but I have so many cushion foundations. I want someone else to enjoy these before they expire. So I'm going to let go of both of them. They are good. There's nothing wrong with them. I just have so many cushion foundations at this time to use, so I'm gonna let go of them. But if you're in market for a cushion foundation that's kind of in between these two Jungsemul, so not quite as, and this is not matte, not quite as satiny as this, but not quite as glowy as this would be kind of your middle option that I think you might like. But yeah, great cushion foundations. I just have so many, I'm gonna have to let go of these. Alright, so these are all the foundations that are currently in my collection. I am keeping this side and letting go of this side. and then my memory card was full. Alright, so another try. So I had 28 foundations to begin with, which is way too much for anyone. Granted, some of these were sent to me for PR purposes, so at least I'm going to use that excuse. But I am going to keep 11 foundations and let go of 17. And I'm very happy with these numbers. I think I have everything I need in here. I don't need to purchase any more foundations, and I'm actually keeping 12, but I can't find the mini of the CC foundation that I'm keeping. But yes, it's still okay, so I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm pretty sure it's in my travel makeup bag, but I just can't find that either right now. But most of these things that I am letting go have expired, but some are still usable, so I'm going to see which one of my friends and family members would like them. But the rest of them I'm keeping. I'm happy with everything that I have in here. I have some excellent foundations. I have some high coverage ones, some light coverage ones, some more creamy, some more liquidy cushion foundations. I'm covered for the rest of the year at least, and I'm trying not to purchase any more foundations until I have used up some of these, or I have a little bit less foundations left. Then I'm most likely going to repurchase this CC Plus Illumination. It is still my favorite. I feel like it works for any occasion that I have, and it's just an all-around excellent foundation. I can also see myself repurchasing the Hamish one at some point. It is amazing as well. And then I really did like this L'Oreal serum foundation, but I'm not sure if at the current time it has a place in my collection. But these were all the foundations in my collection. Are any of these your favorites? Would you repurchase any of these that I have that I'm letting go of? Would you have let go of any of these that I'm keeping? Let me know. I'm always curious to hear your thoughts. But these were all the items that I want to share with you today. Thank you so much for watching this declutter. I really enjoy doing these. They do me a lot good because I'm able to, you know, have a more curated collection. Plus, I'm able to share what I have with others, which is really important to me. But thank you again for watching. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I hope you subscribe. And if you like these type of declutter videos, I hope you give this video a thumbs up. That would help me ever so much. But thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Future me here, I've already removed my filming set, but I realized that I didn't calculate the yummy skin in this. So there are 29 foundations, and I'm keeping 12 and letting go of 17. I'm still happy with these numbers, but I thought I'd share because I noticed that I didn't count that one. Okay, thank you again for watching. I'll see you soon.